it's good.
Shapes to get the sequence of the squares to come out, you know, as they are, one after another, column after column. I mean, you see them playing for a while to make that happen, right? So this is all done, so it's really cool. So step number 4 is adding a new design element.
You don't have to do that fancy of a thing. Plus you have those libraries where there's already presets in there that you can use, and just, even if it's just changing the color to match your logo or something like that.
The only tool you have is albums. Now, a photo can be in multiple albums. So, but there's no moving within an album. However, you can drag them around.
And sort them kind of thing.
Customize the order, but there's no tagging within albums.
Definitely some room for improvement.
There's lots of room.
Hello, folks, and welcome to Tinkering with Tech this Wednesday night. My goodness, all kinds of people out there. I guess it's who you know, right? But I'm going to tell you, this is awesome. I'm bringing on your real estate whisperer tonight, and we'll get to her in just a second. But I have to tell you, when I first started seeing her in different places and stuff, and then I started following the website, and I just thought, this is just so hilarious. And that's what drew me in. So that's why I wanted to bring her on to kind of show you folks how business and this can work together. So real quick, I'm going to do a quick slideshow so you can kind of see, and I'll talk during this slideshow, but this is some of the characters, the fun characters that she has had on her show. You can just see it. I'm just spinning through each one so you guys can see it out there. It says audio is good. Good. I'm glad everybody can hear me out there. Really fun. I mean, fun characters. It's so hilarious. And seriously, when she does the videos, she's there, and it's a riot. I mean, I just have a good time just sitting there watching that. But anyway, without further ado, I am going to introduce you. Kristina Smallhorn, please say hello to everyone.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for the people that are my personal subscribers that have popped in and is here to support me and meet up with Michael and hear us talk about me. many, that's right. There's a lot of your people out there, man. My goodness, I'm going to go right to comments real quick because I want to show some of these out there. We got all kinds of people, so if I miss somebody, please don't be offended, please. Okay, because I'm just going to try and run through some of these. Crypto Cruising, and you probably know their real name, so if you want to interject, you can. Bill Graham, that's one of mine. I'm just kidding. Andrew Hatchett, you know Andrew. Midnight Madness, all about vehicles. Modern Day Family Man. Is that Chris Conkle Vlogs? Mm-hmm. Nice. There we go. Lowland Fuel. I can never say her name. Lowland. I'm just going to call you Lowland. Stephen Daniels, my son, watching. How about that? Eddie Smallhorn. I think you know him. Yeah, do know him.
Modern Day. Let's see. I've already said Eddie Smallhorn. Brandon. Is it?
Yep.
Okay.
Brandon.
Beanie Draws. Crypto, I already said. Modern. Chris. Okay. I think that's all of them. If I miss somebody, just yell at me. That's fine. But I like to just kind of see that and see what any comments. You guys feel free to add comments or something. I know some of you or most of you are out there that watch her channel and stuff. So I really want you to give some feedback and what you think and what draws you to what is so cool about this. Like I said, a lot of people use YouTube as their business, and that's kind of what we're going to talk about today. So I'm going to I'll shut up for a little bit, let you go and do your thing, because I want you to give as much as you can on that topic.
Okay. So I started YouTube about 2 years ago, and I started the YouTube channel as basically a dumping ground to put my videos on. That first year I was on YouTube, of course, just like everybody I didn't know what I was doing. I was doing videos on Facebook, and then I was using YouTube as basically a second place as a hub. I didn't know anything about how to make a title or a thumbnail or anything like that. And I was just kind of putting the videos on there, and I get a few likes and a few comments. And then after that year, it was exactly in October of last year, Facebook had this big shift, and the algorithm had changed. And for some reason, they weren't allowing me to share my videos on Facebook. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's how I get a lot of my business, like, how am I supposed to do this? And then that's when I was like, I got to look for other options. So I started to go, into YouTube, and I was like, YouTube is a place that there's a lot of people, and there's a lot of different content on there, and you have to have something that's unique as far as your brand. And I'm like, I think I have something unique. And then I'm like, and then you have to, basically stand out in the crowd. So when I started observing, some of the other channels that are in my niche, I was like, I can do this, and I think I can do it better. So that's when I really, like, October of last year is when I got serious, because actually October of last year is I had 100 subscribers. I actually did a video thanking the 100 people that decided to watch me when I didn't even know what I was doing.
So you had 100. Hold on, you had 100 subscribers, and now you have 1,600.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yes, 100 subscribers.
That's pretty awesome. That's pretty great. That's fantastic. I'm serious. That's fantastic. And hopefully you'll have some more after tonight. That'd be great too. And I needed to, Eddie says that he said, yell if I didn't mention you. Eddie, I did mention you. Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
you said you did.
And Miss Sheila and Richard, two of mine that regulars that come on, I forgot to mention you, but you came in late. Okay, go. Keep going.
So that's when I started like watching all the little help channels, and I was like, boy, I really need to like clean up my thumbnail game, and I need to, like learn how to title these better. And I heard about TubeBuddy, and then I started watching vidIQ, and I kind of made myself a little crazy there for a little bit. They did help, it did help. But I think what really helps is that you end up starting to meet other people that either are in your niche and other people that are struggling with YouTube just as much as you are. And I've like created some really cool relationships. And then I found out that my brand of making something funny and something informational at the same time seemed to resonate with people that were actually watching my channel. So that's when within the last year, because if you even watch the beginning of 2018, you watch those videos, they were still very like, hi, my name is Kristina Smallhorn. Every once in a blue moon, I would throw in a funny one, but it seemed like the ones that were that resonated with people were the ones that were funny. And I'm like, well, I can do that. I know how to,
exactly.
I know how to do that. So I can be funny, and I can be informational at the same time. And somebody told me it was called infotainment. So my channel is an infotainment channel. You learn a little something and you can laugh at the same time. And I figured that would make real estate at least fun and interesting, because the topic can be kind of dry and boring. So I figured that would be the way to do it.
And I'm showing your channel right now, by the way. I'm just kind of showing them what your channel is and what it looks like out there. It's really kind of cool. I mean, it's very, very eye-catching anyway. And then all of your thumbnails match, so that helps a bunch too. I love it though. You still have that popular uploads. I love that. You have that first one that we always talk about that. The how to get rid of the pee smell. That's so funny though.
Well, there's with YouTube, one of the gurus or whatever, he says that you want to make your channel look like rainbow vomit. And I'm like, hey, I think I got that covered. That's definitely what my channel conveys is rainbow vomit.
Rainbow vomit. I love it. That's awesome.
Yeah. And so that's pretty much what it is. But I from the beginning, before I even started making like the pink, the more dominant color, those were always my colors. If you look at the logo, my logo has always been the
green and pink.
Yep, the green and pink and blue. So even on my cups, it's always been this. Even before I like made it so pronounced on my channel. So it wasn't hard to come up with they were like, you have to decide on your branding colors. I'm like, no, I don't. I already know what they are.
Yeah. I have got to bring up this. This is such a true statement that Beanie Draws brings up. He says, I don't even care about real estate. And Uru, that's your group, right?
Yeah, that's my hashtag Uru.
That's your Uru. Yep, that makes it fun to watch, and that is so true. And Greg, who has joined us, hey Greg, how are you, sir? He says that thumbnails are pretty solid. They really are. I mean that makes a big difference too. I think that's awesome. I think it's great because that's what that's usually your first thing. That's the first thing they see is that.
Yeah, what makes them want to click. It's kind of like when you're going through Netflix and you're deciding on what to watch.
That's right.
And before you even read the title, you're looking at the picture, and you're scrolling through. And you're like, what is that? It makes you more interested to actually read what the video or whatever is about, the movie on Netflix is about. And I've actually been watching their thumbnails more and more because I'm curious because they change them out all the time. So I'm like, if they're testing thumbnails this way, I wanted to see what they're testing it to and what they switch it back.
Yeah, exactly. And Yeah, I mean, that's cool stuff. Chris says out there, he says, you guys, you actually helped my wife and I buy our first home, and her channel is so good that this chat doesn't have enough characters to explain how awesome she is.
Aw, well, thank you. I bet you that was Chris Conkle Vlogs.
It was.
When he was purchasing his home, he did watch all the videos. He was like, he had them on a loop.
That's awesome, though.
And whenever he was like, oh, I'm so glad that I had this, because my wife and I are about to do this anyways, you know, like that. He was like, oh, or we just did that, and that's exactly what you said in the video. So, I mean, it is good information, even though it's kind of funny. And some people don't get it because they think it's not like necessarily professional enough.
Yeah.
But I think I try to do both sides equally. You know, I don't know. Like some people are going to get it and some people aren't. You can't make everybody happy.
No, that's exactly right.
And at the end of the day, I like it. You know, I get done and I'm like, this is funny. And it's a good representation of me because I'm super snarky. I'm super sarcastic. And, you know, I'm a little bit of all these people that I create, you know.
That's hilarious.
And I base them off of people I've either met or worked with, or, you know, I was a hairdresser prior to a real estate agent. So I have met some pretty fun people.
So let me ask you this, and I think I know the answer, but I'm just going to ask you anyway. So do you ever find like, okay, so YouTube's a great resource. It's a great source to find out real estate information and stuff and all the things you're helping them with. Do they really need you then? I mean, do you feel like you're giving away all your secrets kind of thing? And
Absolutely not.
I think I know the answer. That's why I just wanted you to touch on that though. So
no, actually, the only time I've ever I've had the snarky eye with somebody, and I'm actually going to do I'm having another video come out that's going to really give a real estate agents a hard time. They were not really happy with me making the announcement that open houses don't work. Because there are many agents that will argue that fact, but they're not. Open houses don't sell a house. That's like basically the whole gist of that video. And they were like, "Why do you tell people that?" I'm like, "Because they're a joke, and you know it." Well, I mean that's part of my marketing plan. I'm like, well, maybe you should come up with a new marketing plan. You know, like that. Like I would rather be honest with a client and honest with the public as much as possible, so that when they do decide to call me, they trust me because I'm not going to give them a bunch of fluff to make them feel good during the process.
Right.
You know, I'd rather give them
straight
as much
up
truth as possible.
Yeah, straight up honest. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So if I don't feel like that there's too much information. I even help people that have for sale by owners. I'm like, I can't represent them, but I can tell them, I can lead them in the right direction. And I look at it like this: if I lead them in the right direction and they still have a hiccup and I wasn't forcing myself down their throat, they might just call me and say, you know what, we couldn't do it on our own. You really did try to help us. Can you help us now and sell our home? Because we couldn't do it ourselves. And that's worked. So I just continue to, I just think I believe in collaboration and being good to one another will pay off a lot longer in the long run than being, you know, hold all of it in and being competitive. And
good for you, because there's certainly ones that aren't out there like that.
Absolutely not. No, absolutely not. I even have a Facebook, YouTube group that I jump on there and I tell them every time I find something interesting out or fun or something that will keep them out of trouble, I will post it. So I don't have a problem saying it, you know, like I don't want anybody to get in trouble. And, you know, we're all in this industry together. Yeah. And I think if we worked as a team instead of against one another, it wouldn't give us such a bad rap.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, the thing is this is worldwide too. So this advice is going to anyone and everyone too. So let's go out to the comments real quick. Beanie Draw says, oh dear, hairdressing is one heck of an industry. Bet there were lots of interesting stories there. Crypto Cruising says, open your channel is like opening a Pandora's box. True. Chris Crunkle Vlog says, YouTube is the most amazing platform in the world. So many awesome people. It is second largest search engine and fourth largest social media platform. So true. Andrew says, open house are great for getting leads to future clients, but I agree they do not sell houses. And I didn't when I was a realtor in the 80s. Wow, way back, Andrew. You would have better luck in the 80s to sell a house during an open house than you do now with the internet. But for Andrew, that's the 1880s.
Yeah.
He's a little older than the rest of us, but anyway.
You know what? He might recognize some of the characters on Beanie Draw's channel. They might know some of them. Yeah, the dinosaur channel, Beanie Draws. Andrew, you should go over there. You might recognize some of them.
That's so awesome.
Some of your pet animals that you might have had.
Awesome. Hey, Gord Eisman joined us.
I saw that. Hi, Gord.
Yeah, no.
My friend says Gord Eisman has the voice of moisturizer.
I swear, that's funny. So let me ask you this then, because you got to talk about the trip they invited you to up to New York. You got to talk a little bit about that.
Okay, yeah. So the way that this whole YouTube channel started was not, about me sharing how to do YouTube or share how the YouTube is made, but people have found my YouTube page because of the fact that they're looking for ideas to create videos. And this one guy was looking, his name is Jeremiah Marino or Manarino.
Oh, he was a bullfrog, wasn't he? Oh, no, sorry.
Yep, Jeremiah. I think it's actually Jeremiah with an S.
Oh, okay, so it's more than one.
He does he has a channel called J-Man Speaks, but he does seminars all the way through the country, and he helps agents that are kind of like on the fence of like, what kinds of things they should be posting to social media. And so that's what he does.
Oh, okay.
And he ended up finding my channel, and he reached out to me, and he's like, hey, would you be interested in, being on my show? And I'm like, what is it? So he's like, yeah, it's this thing that I do. It's a talk show. So he put it on Facebook. And then after we got done with that, he reached out to me again. He's like, look, there's this conference that's coming up in New York in October. Would you be interested in doing that? I'm like,
how cool is that?
Yeah. I was like, well, what do you want me to talk about? He's like, I want you to talk about YouTube and all the things that you talked about on my show and how those things are important. And I'm like, okay, I can do that. And so
awesome.
It was cool. It was an interesting thing. It was really difficult because I was at my real estate conference for my company on that Monday, and on Tuesday morning at 4:00 in the morning, I was getting on a plane. So that evening I was done with my conference at 11:00 at night. And then the next morning I was at 4:00 in the morning to fly to New York to get there before 11. I got there at 11 and I started my conference at 1:00.
That's crazy.
I was tired.
I'm sure you were. Oh my God. I mean, that's just amazing. So
yeah, but it was good. I was glad that I did it. It was exciting, and I got to meet some really cool people. I didn't realize how many people were still on the fence of just even getting into the idea of doing videos.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, and a lot of them, especially in our industry, have a hard time not understanding it, but they're afraid. They're super afraid to get on camera, and that's probably the number one reason why people don't create the videos, because they're a fear.
Yeah, but I don't understand that, because usually your real estate people are more outgoing. Usually, I'm not saying always. I mean, there's always different. In my opinion, though, they're used to being in front of people, that kind of thing. Maybe not on a platform or something like that, but at least they're out there with the public. Does that make sense? I mean,
right. It is, and it's much easier to have a one-on-one conversation with people.
True. That's true. I guess.
But they have to sit there, and they're only having a one-sided conversation. So they have to look into this little device that, they're going to say all these words, and it's a possibility that thousands of people are looking at them and judging them. Yeah. So it's almost like public speaking. And that's the fear that they have. They have that fear.
Yeah, and I'm showing your pictures again. If you look like this, though, what does it matter? I mean, because I'm showing all your fun characters. Right
yeah, my whole thing is that, like, I knew early on when I was on Facebook, I couldn't sleep one night, and this was like before I put it on YouTube as kind of like a fluke, that, again, like a dumping ground. Mm-hmm. But I had made this video for Facebook, and it was basically I was the real estate agent driving the car. I was the annoying mother who was just had a bunch of problems. Like she was just like, chewing bubble gum and complaining. And then I'm the little girl in the backseat kicking the real estate agent's chair. And then she was like complaining about ghosts and poltergeists and small bathrooms. And the little girl poops her pants in the car. And so I'm playing all these characters, and I had this played out in my head, and I put it on YouTube and I put it on Facebook, went crazy on Facebook. And then a site called The Lighter Side of Real Estate picked it up and showed it on Father's Day.
Oh, wow.
And
that's cool.
And I was like, that's when I knew I hit a nerve, like that this random website found my content and was willing to put it out there for other people to see. And I'm like, okay, so other real estate agents get it. They think it's funny. And then it's getting shared more and more and more. I'm like, huh. So when I came up with my next listing video, of course, I added that funny spin. And so those listing videos that I actually do where I tour the house and then I create like a whole story behind it. Right. Those get shared really well on Facebook. They don't get shared as much on YouTube, but that's because YouTube's a search engine and not really a place to go search for homes.
Right.
But,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, you got to use each platform for what their purpose is.
So there's probably some insight to this, but Crypto says, don't mention the wig. And then Chris Uncle Vlog says, wait, what wig? And then so they got their own conversation going.
Yeah, because there's like I have a new character that's coming out, and I was supposed to have filmed it this weekend.
Okay.
I'm waiting on a new wig for my new character, and it was supposed to be in on Saturday. And then it was supposed to be in on Sunday, then on Monday, then on Tuesday. And then on Monday, they said, well, we think it's been lost in transit. Now, this will be the second time I had ordered it. So the guy says out to me on the phone, we're going to send you another one. Just go ahead and order express. We guarantee it will be there by Wednesday. So I order another one. Oh my God. And now they're not saying until tomorrow. But every day it's tomorrow. Every day is tomorrow.
That's crazy. You know what I think it is? I think it's actually Eddie that's going to have the wig this time. That's what I think.
No. This is all. It's going to be all me this time. But Eddie actually is a character in my videos. He doesn't say a word.
I love it. It's only the back of him.
Yeah, it's only he's Chuck. He's Chuck. And there's a real reason for that. Do you know what the reason is?
I don't. But
Eddie can't deliver a line.
Oh, okay.
He tries so hard. Like, I have these end cards that I put at the end, and he has to say, make sure you click over here. And we have to do it about 38 times before he actually can finish the whole sentence. He can't do it.
Eddie, she's throwing you under the bus. I'm just saying.
Oh, he knows. He knows.
I know. I'm just kidding.
He gets the giggles. But I'll tell you who's really good at it is my youngest daughter. She's been in my videos too. She's been a few characters, and she's so funny.
That's good. Good. That's good. Then you know what? She'll probably grow up thinking, God, I wonder what my mom really does.
No,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
And then I've actually even done some videos for my local real estate board too. With one of my characters, I have this real estate agent that I made up. Her name is Tiffany Selling. That's her brand, and she's like, her whole thing is like, I posted it on Instagram. I don't know why they're not, buying. So she's a terrible real estate agent, doesn't answer the phone or whatever. And my real estate board called me and asked, well, we want to do a series about being ethical. Like there's people out there that have this problem. Like, yeah, that's why I created my character. And they're like, yeah, we want you to film it and use your character to show real estate agents in a funny way how to be a professional, like showing in an exaggerated version of how terrible this agent is. So you're not like that,
So don't you think, okay, so if you were to just sit there and just make like commercials, like everybody takes commercials so seriously and stuff like that, and some of them are just so serious and stuff, don't you think it appeals to people? It's just like what Beanie said earlier about, I'm not even into real estate, but one day he might be into real estate and he may need that help, and he may look at this because he has this. I mean, and maybe that's not the exact example, but I'm just saying. Because if you look at like, what is it? The company, the insurance company, and they explain a funny situation that happened, like a duck fell out of the sky and then they got in a car accident, and then like the guy's computer flies out of and he was like, yep, that really happened. And we covered it. Like you already know that like people are waiting for the commercial, and then they remember the company, and then they remember I think any way to if you make somebody laugh, they will always remember you. If you make them feel fun and funny. And I think part of that is you're not afraid. I mean, you have food all over your face and some of the, I mean, you don't care.
When I'm a little girl, I actually get my finger halfway up my nose. I don't care.
And
you know,
and I think that's the appeal too, though. I think that's what the draw is to. Okay, that lures them in, brings them in, but also there's good content in there because there's a lot of them. Seriously, there's a lot of stuff in there that's actually very helpful. Right.
And I'm hoping that comes across. And like I said, some people they don't get it, but the ones that do, they like it. And I just want more people to find it. So if you haven't shared it with a friend, go ahead and share.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's great. I think that's good stuff too. All right. Now we have to talk about, we talk about business, we talk about fun, and I love what you say about, okay, so trivia, just talk about trivia.
You want me to talk about trivia?
Yeah,
okay.
Talk about the trivia, what the whole premise is, what you're trying to do, and what you're accomplishing. Because a lot of people think it's just a game that you're playing.
Right. Well, when I did live streams at the beginning, it was just kind of basically a hangout of people that were watching my content. Mm-hmm. It was like a time to hang out. And then one night I ending up on somebody's live stream. I couldn't sleep. And she was basically reading questions about Disney. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. How many people in the chat were actually talking about Disney and how these people actually became friends and everything. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, well, how can I make a trivia show around real estate and still keep it interesting? Like, how can I do that? So my first few trivia shows about real estate were basically all 100% real estate related questions.
Gotcha.
And then we came up with like a theme. So I'm like, okay, we're going to do real estate trivia, but make some in the chat. What can we make a show about, next week? What next week's trivia could be about anything. And I'll try to relate it to real estate. So I let the subscribers pick the topic, and then I find as many real estate related questions to that particular topic. So we've even had Star Wars. We've had Star Trek. We've had The Office. We've had, we even had Scotland, which was really interesting because I got to learn more about Scottish real estate.
Oh, cool.
Some of the questions are kind of very loosely.
Yeah, but I'm not going to let you slide by on this. You had to wait till you were out of town before Star Wars got.
I could care less about Star Wars. I am not a Star Wars fan. I mean, how many times can those people have a Death Star? I mean, you would think these people are an advanced society. Do you really need to do the Death Star, the Super Death Star, the Super Mega Death Star? And they're in the rebellion's never going to blow it up. I mean, they've already figured that out twice now.
That's so funny. I had to bring that up. Real quick, I'm going to go out to comments real quick. We'll come back to the trivia because I want to ask you a couple other things. Okay. He says, Renaissance Man says, Eddie is too good looking to parrot lines. He just needs to stand there and say nothing. There you go.
I know. And Renaissance Man is a good subscriber too. He is the commonologist. He is the one-line king right there. He likes
Modern Day Family Man says, yes, you have a sexy back, Eddie.
Yes.
That's so
He's
funny.
bringing sexy back.
Renaissance Man says, even Brad Pitt has to cough out a few lines. Eddie is going to bring silent movies back into vogue.
Yeah, that's right.
I love it. That's good stuff. I love it. Black and white makes me look better, Eddie says. 4K makes me look better. There you go. Some of these are good. Star Wars, there you go. I need old bunny ears. That's what Eddie says. I like that. And let's see. And Renaissance says, I'm excited for the trivia night topic. Things Garner got for Christmas.
For Christmas. Okay, I have a group of subscribers that are regulars. Mm-hmm. And so what Renaissance is referring to is another subscriber named Richard Garner. And Richard and Renaissance kind of go back and forth at each other. They always kind of like
battling each other.
Little zingers, and that's where that comes from. But I love reading all that stuff. I can't read it all during game show night because the chat's moving so fast. And I'm real fortunate to have some really good moderators that have come in to help me. Because, like I said, with those game shows, when you start asking questions, you don't even know what comes by because people are start answering. And if somebody's trolling you in the background,
right,
the moderators are able to follow that,
which is awesome. I think that's great. That's one thing. One of the features that I love about YouTube is that they do have that.
Yeah, I think it's a good feature, mm-hmm. you know,
because
like
you can't always
thinking,
be right on there on top of the chat. You can't always be there, so it's really
there's no way I could keep up with it,
exactly.
and
Not,
then
not
still
do
be
a game
able to
show in the
interact.
background and interact in the background. There's just no way.
Right. And, you know, I've got a lot of animations going there, and I've got, you know, I'm switching screens, and there's no way I could keep up with it all.
Yeah. Eddie says, what this week's trivia is going to be great. Little insight. What is it on? Just so we know to go watch.
This week is about National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Oh, no way.
Real estate related. So the questions do relate to real estate.
You're right. I got to watch that one. I'll be watching it. Sorry, Greg that's out there. He asked a great question. I'll ask it next. But sorry, Greg, I won't be watching the all show. I'll be watching trivia because I love that movie. So here we go. Greg says, what camera do you use? What editing software? Production value on your videos is fantastic. There you go. Great
thank you.
too.
It's a Rebel. My camera's a Rebel T7i. T7i. I use a Rode mic on that, and I have some box lights that I put up, and then when you actually see me where I'm actually standing in the camera and giving you my professional part, I'll have a ring light in the background, so the box lights are actually hitting the actual background, you know, so they'll light up the curtains, and then the ring light lights me up. And then as far as editing software, I used to use iMovie, but I switched to Final Cut Pro about a year ago. Because I can do more layers.
That's Mac only too, right?
Yeah, it's Mac only, but it's a one-time cost, so you don't have to keep using the monthly cost. So I just did that one cost, and since I had learned how to use iMovie, it was easy to switch to Final Cut Pro.
Gotcha.
And then as far as the music, I use Soundstripe, and the animations is a program called VidiUse, and I can make as many animations as I want, and I love it.
So Renaissance Man says, here, I'll go over to the comments real quick. He says, Chris, I bet good money that he doesn't get one question right. I'm not sure who. I didn't see Chris.
He's talking about Richard Garner again.
Okay, I got you. So Eddie says,
Renaissance is still picking on him.
I see he has gotten one the last 2 weeks, Eddie says. They're really on it. And Chris Kunkel Vlog says, Beanie, I saw you on the creator stream, bro. You have a great appeal. I would highly recommend you show yourself more. There you go. See? How about that? And Greg says, great camera. Got all kinds of conversations going on, so I'm back and forth all this.
Yeah, that's how a lot of my live streams run myself, because we are having a conversation. They're listening, but they're also talking to all their friends.
I know. And that's what makes it so intriguing. That's what's so appealing about, to me, that's what's appealing about YouTube, you know, and the live streams and what you get from that. As opposed to just putting a video, you can have comments, but the comments are directed, it's like one to many. Okay, it's like I think we were talking about this the other day when you and I met before this. Community truly is not community on YouTube. It's you and then a bunch of people responding back to you. So it's one to many. A true community to me, in my eyes, and I send feedback to YouTube about this all the time, it's more of a billboard. Community on YouTube is like a billboard. It's just my place where I can say, hey, we're not doing a show this week, or da-da-da, and you can talk to that person. Whereas a community is more of what we're getting right here in the audience. I love this part of it.
Right.
That interaction.
Right. And I think that YouTube is working on it. They seem to be trying to shift a little bit and make it more of a social media type site. I mean, it is a social media site, but they're trying to make it more where you don't leave the platform.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think rolling out that community tab, I think it's a nice thing, because nobody in the community would have known that I was doing this unless I had posted that link. And I just got the link this afternoon. I posted up there, and look how many people were kind enough to show up and show support. I mean, I think that's awesome. And I wouldn't have been able to do that. I mean, I could put it on Twitter, I could put it on Facebook, and then, but how many people would have shown up? Like a lot of the people that are on here don't have those social media sites.
I'm not saying there's not a use for it, or I'm just thinking I think it's the wrong word is all I'm saying.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. That's my only thing is the terminology. Gord asked a question to you too, Kristina. Do you use do you like using the community? What are other social platforms you are active on?
I like using the community tab because I wasn't able to do a live stream on Sunday.
Great example.
So I didn't want people to think that I forgot about them. So, I just shot up a quick picture of me and my family and then said, I'm sorry, we're not gonna be able to do this Sunday. I'm going to try to get a video out before trivia night. If not, like, I'm really sorry, and, just wish Sydney luck. And, to get like a good 11 responses from people, that was nice, And then again, like this today, this was an announcement. I think it's like, I think they should call it the announcement board instead of a community tab.
Exactly. And I love it. Your uses are perfect. And what I think it's just using the wrong word. Community to me is everybody collaborating together. That's the way I think of a community. And I think there's a place for that. I think that YouTube could actually create, I think I told you about this too, have a place where there's a whole bunch of different areas. Like if you do a bunch of reviews, then have a whole bunch of people that can join that community of just like
Facebook groups. Is that what you're saying?
Not really, yeah, but not just more of a topic driven or something. If I'm into Star Wars, I want to go join the Star Wars, community.
Oh, like, so you'd like categorize the channels, basically?
Categorize, but then anybody can join, or anybody that has Star Wars channels, they could be highlighted in there and stuff like that. Just something like that. I just think that would be a really cool way to do true
almost
communities.
Like Reddit.
Yeah. Kind of, yeah. Because you can go and find topics that way, something that you're interested in. If you wanted to watch just like talking head shows like what we're doing, or a tech show or something like that, just fall into a category and build, join that community, become part of that community, and have like topics. To me, that's community. I think that would be a really cool thing that YouTube could do and use that term. But anyway, that's all. I'm going off on a rant here.
Well, that's okay, because I'm actually part of another little group called Creator Chaos, and every time we start with a topic, we are constantly derailed. We're always like, we start there, and then we have to I'm like, okay, back to the topic again. Yeah, but it's really fun to meet. Like I think it's like YouTube is the coolest thing, because I've been on Facebook for years. And it's almost like you're subject to the people that you know. But on YouTube, you meet so many different people from so many different genres. Agreed. And then you become friends.
Agreed.
I never thought I would know and become really good friends with somebody in Australia. I didn't think I would know and become, I don't know anything about crypto, nothing. And like my husband and I, with his family, we sit and talk like we're having a drink in my living room. And I'm like, this is so weird.
I know.
We just talked for an hour. Him and his girlfriend, my husband and I just sat and talked like they were neighbors next door. I mean, it's a really cool thing. And then, and then everybody's so willing to help. I think honestly the YouTube community, people that are creators on YouTube, are so willing to share and be helpful to others when it comes to like, what kind of audio things work for them. What, if you're on a budget, how much can you get for this? And like even Gord with his content, he's always extremely helpful with people with Camtasia. And because I've been following him, when somebody says, hey, what's a good software that I can use? Cause I don't know. I always say, oh, you got to follow my friend Gord Eisman. He has this thing on Camtasia, and I post links to my YouTube group that I have on Facebook. So, I don't think I would have ever known to do that. Like I don't think that I met some really cool people, and I'm glad that you have that support, because YouTube can be a pretty lonely place. So when you find people that are into it as much as you are, it's awesome.
That is. I don't want to go on forever. I need to kind of wrap this up a little bit.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did we talk for a long time?
No, not at all. Not at all. I love this. This is great conversation. It's awesome. And a lot of people participating out there, and it's really good stuff. We have a community. I have a community that I have, and I will invite those community members inside the Hangout, inside this Zoom meeting afterward.
Okay.
So we'll chat with them for a little bit. Anybody out there that has any other just points or questions or anything like that, please feel free. Let's do that. Let's wrap that up with comments here. Let me go over to that. And Crypto says, I should join the creators only Discord.
Oh, you like we have a little group of creators that's like, I think it's called Creators Community. That's what it's called. But they're people that met during that he had virtual tickets for Vid Summit.
Oh, okay, I got you.
And so and that's how I got to meet a guy who runs Launchpad Astronomy. He runs a astronomy channel, which is really good. And that brought in more people. So there's about, I don't know, I think there's maybe like 15 or 20 people on there, but it's like a place of free of kids asking random stupid questions. And it's just all these got to, yeah. So it's just another community within the community because of YouTube.
Yeah, there you go. Let's see. Gord says, I think that Community Tab helps YouTube creators be more social and engage in another way. True. I mean, there is that, but it's still one-sided, though. It's not really with each other. It's more of just with that particular individual, which is what Simply Beth says. It isn't a community tab if only the poster can reply to comments.
I know. I didn't realize that either, but I mean, I still think it's just a good way. It's almost like a thumbtack on the front door. Like,
it is. I love that. No, I think the way you're using it is a perfect example. Both examples. The one where you knew you weren't going to be able to do a show Sunday because you're going to your daughter's thing. Then you could actually put videos of that and present that too inside that same community tab. And it's more, like I said, a bulletin board than it is that.
Right.
Yeah, it's really cool. And then let's see. Good question. 2019. There's a lot of commenting going on amongst each other.
I know. I'm looking at that.
I like that. The Crypto says our YouTube isn't a community; it's a worldwide family. That's interesting, the way of putting it, but
it's true.
It's a family where only one person can talk. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. And in my family, that doesn't happen. I don't know about yours, but I did.
Yeah. Well. They call me Queen Roo for a reason, so I don't know.
And
I love that my community gave me that nickname.
Yeah.
You're Roo. That's what they call me, you're Roo.
Yeah.
And so that became a thing, like the hashtag Roo. Like
that's funny.
YRE. So that's that's the only hashtag I use in my videos now.
See, that's awesome. It never would have come about, though, if you didn't have them sitting there. Probably. Do you feel like a lot of these people came to you mostly because of the game show part of it, though, where the interaction happens? Or do you think it was happening before that?
I started because I became friends with a tool channel, and they had a lot more subscribers than me.
Okay.
So they encouraged me to do a live stream, and I was like, oh, okay. I've never done it on YouTube. Right. I mean, I've done it on Facebook. Mm-hmm. So they encouraged me. And so to keep me going, they were like, go over there and hang out with Roo, hang out with Kristina, hang out with her. And then I collected more people along the way once the game show started. And there's people that are like flat out like competitive. They want to win it, like they're in it to win it.
Yeah.
And then, we have there's like little competitions. Because we've got people from around the world. So then whenever we have like people from Canada, and we've got people from Scotland, we got people from Japan, and we got people from where else? There's just they're all over the world. Crazy. And so whenever somebody from the United States wins a question, they're like, USA, USA. And then last week for the last 2 weeks has been someone from the UK. So they're like, UK, UK, UK. And I love that,
That is awesome.
Little competition going. And I think that.
Yeah, that's healthy for everybody. That's always healthy for everybody. And I think that's what helps builds the community, and people see that and they want to be a part of it. I think that people just want to be a part of it.
It's all good fun.
Would you say, last question, and then we're going to get on. I need to get on and let my community come in and chat with you a little bit, because I don't want to keep you all night. But I want to give them an opportunity. Last thing, do you feel like YouTube has helped you, though, business-wise?
Yeah.
Business-wise?
Yeah. Well, it actually changed the business that I'm in.
Okay.
Because I've been in real estate for 10 years, but because of YouTube, real estate agents are coming to me to ask for help to build their channels and to build their business. And they want to know how I did it. So that became a second source of income. So it's helped my business in a way that I didn't expect. And because I'm having so much fun doing it, I'm really thankful for it.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate you coming on and talking about this kind of stuff, because I think it's so popular and important right now for YouTube and business. And on my game show, I've had the same results. I have the same things. After the after party in a game show, I'll have somebody from Hawaii come in. I'll have somebody from Canada, and I'll have, whatever. It's just incredible, the outreach that we have, that we never would have seen this person had it not been for this type thing. So I really do appreciate you. Seriously, thank you so much.
Thank
for coming
you
on. Yeah.
for inviting me. I appreciate it. You having me on here. I really respect you, and I was honored that you asked me.
Well, thank you very much. I'm glad you said that too. All right, folks, thank you. Anybody, you'll see in the description down below in this video, I have a community that you can sign up for if you want to be. It is a paid for community. I always mention that. But every Wednesday we do a tech show. You come on here. It doesn't cost anything for that because you're watching right now. Thank you very much for all of the guests that did come over from Kristina and things like that. We loved having you. Anybody that's interested, sign up, come on, and and like I said, the community will have the link inside our community page, and you will be able to come in and talk to Kristina a little bit on your own there. Thank you again.
Thank you, Roo Crew. I want to say thank you to you guys for showing up. I appreciate it. Hashtag Roo Crew.
There you go. There you go. Thank you, and have a great evening, everyone.